This is one Shanivan, yes. Yunus Tanko react to the news concerning Goodluck Jonathan. You understand? I'm not say since then PDP they are trying to endorse Goodluck Jonathan allegedly. You understand? Because we never because this is when the news they circulate, we never hear for Goodluck Jonathan. You understand? So you all listen to Yunus Tanko as he deliberate concerning this issue. He said that make Goodluck Jonathan rather back Peter Obi for you to come out for 2027 election. You watch and also share your thoughts on that comment section. At least no one
and leading that particular charge as is required.
All right, let's talk percentages now. Something to give Nigerians a clear picture. You say it's a good thing that the ADC is willing to extend some sort of olive branch to allow key players like Peter Obi and Malam Nasir Rufai to exist in two different political parties. I mean, Peter Obi has not officially joined any other political party as far as we know, right? But he has publicly expressed his support for the coalition and what it stands to represent. But talk to me about what we've been hearing also from the grapevine about the PDP outrightly quoting Peter Obi. I mean, Professor Jerry Ghana was on national television saying, listen, we want to bring him back. We want him to join our ranks, and he has a very good chance of winning in 2027. The North will vote for him. He has all the support that he needs. Recently, he was in Bauchi, and Governor Bala Mohammed, who unapologetically has been a big fan of Peter Obi over the past couple of months, has also said, listen, come back to the PDP. So, is it 50-50 with Peter Obi about PDP and ADC and Labour Party? What are the options here? Because it's quite confusing to say the least.
No, he is a very humble Democrat, and he's so appreciative to all of these calls by all of them. It may amaze you to know, almost out of 16 political parties, we can almost say 8 political parties are beckoning on Peter Obi. Not because not because he's the most handsome person, not because he's the most intelligent, not because he's the most caring, but because he represents an interest. The interest is about the Nigerian youth, who he stands for, and protecting their interests, and he's speaking the language that they understand. And that's why they are continuously demanding for him to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So when you have such a humongous support, as a leader, what you need to do is bring everybody on board and lead the charge. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. To make sure that everybody who believes in the area of emancipating the Nigerian people from hunger, poverty, and all educational deprivation and all work together as a team. And when you get that, the momentum will be very strong for you. And that's exactly what he's looking at. So the beckoning by all these political parties is a welcome development. It gives strength to the coalition.
All right. I mean, you say that, but a lot of people are not necessarily convinced that, keeping all those options open is necessarily the best political move. Would you say that he's keeping all these options open? Because whether it's Labour Party, whether it's PDP or ADC?
Because many of our people are not used to different style of politics. And he has brought something new. If you are the one that people are beckoning on in a large number, would you throw away any one of them who is beckoning on you? Obviously, no.
But there's no chance that the ADC will work with PDP and the Labour Party.
You can't say that when the target is one. What is the target? To win elections. And when is the issue of winning elections? You have a humble politician who has been able to connect with the people, showing level of how you can put people out of poverty, giving a reverse method on how you can lead and change the narrative of the politics. Peter Obi is not, like quoted by Channel Television, one of my colleagues, Peter Obi, said that Peter Obi conquered greed. He did not only conquer greed, he also annihilated selfishness. He annihilated selfishness, meaning that he's ready to accommodate everybody so that we can be able to work together as a team. And this is a person who have been able to connect with this vast experience as a former governor, who have shown empathy, creative thinking, knowing the problem. He's not going to go back and become president and start searching for solution to the problem, because already he knows the solution to the problem. He only wants to administer it.
Yeah, but don't you also understand the concerns of some people within your ranks, for instance, who say, listen, beware of the dynamites, of the landmines in all of these other political platforms, including the Labour Party, for instance, which has been engulfed in some sort of internal civil war, that it's best he gives a clear message to not just his followers, but to everybody who supports him, that listen, this is where my loyalty lies, right? Because, listen, Obedience have no love lost with PDP, for instance. And some are not necessarily 100% sold on the ADC project yet. Do you think your principles, open-minded approach could fracture the base?
Why not? Because when you look at it, it's just like you having an old rickety vehicle that has a lot of issue. It may not be at 100% working condition, but then here you have somebody's bringing the tires, somebody's bringing the wheels, somebody's bringing the brand new engine, somebody is thinking about how to make the gear more accessible and easily to ride. At the time of its own that you've completed all of this donation to giving you a brand new car, how do you feel? Is the car going to work as a brand new, or going to be as one part of it working? So which one would you prefer? A new vehicle, vehicle that works at its 100% throttle to be able to confront this particular cankerworm. Because it's very clear, we have a situation in our hands, and that makes me remember at a point in time that when former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, was saying that look, Peter Obi was the only governor, a governor who supported President Goodluck Jonathan. This is an opponent talking about the praises of another opponent. He said he was the only one, even when they are trying to remove Jonathan, it was only Peter Obi who stood by President Jonathan. And so it's invariably saying that this is the time President Jonathan too will repay that particular good gesture by calling on everybody to come out and support Peter Obi. Yeah. This is some of the noble things that Nigerians want to hear. And it's because the man has been able to bring out the best in everybody, saying that Peter. So they're not saying any other thing. Peter, when you look at all the calculation, in Nigeria as of today, and we're humbled by it. There is no place you will see where they're discussing about politics in Nigeria that Peter Obi name is not mentioned.
You talk about, what Mr. Ahmed said on a different platform, talking about the integrity or the personality of Peter Obi, conquering greed, conquering all these other, difficult political questions that many leaders are unable to deliver on, right? Do you think he has what it takes to do the impossible, to conquer the greed in other political parties, to conquer the personal interests of all these political figures who are in charge of all these other political parties? Do you think Peter Obi can do the impossible by uniting all these opposition forces under one umbrella?
He told me a story. So one of his commissioners, and some of his commissioners who were working with him, by the way, he has almost 60% of his commissioners who are female. In fact, his chief of staff was a female. That's to tell you how trust he has in the gender perspective. He told all of them, you can earn legitimate earning and live credibly well than you engage in corruption. Meaning that if there's a contract being given, nobody is expected to inflate it, rather do the work and then get your own credit. That is how every of the commissioners work together with him as a team. There are different people, the way they communicate with their principal. In his own case, he moves around with his commissioners in a bus and they argue each other to say, look, Mr. Governor, what you're suggesting is not correct. This, I think, is better. And he yields to superior argument. Those are the kind of people we want in leadership role, not those who will give you authoritarian kinds of view. And by saying all of this, he doesn't only speak about his characteristic, but he exemplifies it. When you talk about character, you can find it in Peter Obi. When you talk about compassion, you can find it in him. When you talk about credibility, he is champion in that. When you talk about consistency, you cannot take away that from him. When you talk about credibility and accountability, Peter Obi stands tall in all of this. And you have not been able to find him wanting in any of this. So in that case, why would you shop for another when you have such an individual?
Yeah, but I mean, you understand you're making the ideal case. But if we're being practical and pragmatic about it, knowing what you know about Nigerian politics, can he do it? Can he bring everybody under one umbrella?
Let me give you a clear-cut example. We have a situation in our country where we're depending so much on oil as a form of revenue. Okay, now here is somebody who's telling you agriculture can fetch us four times of what we are getting in oil, leveraging on the north. As a case study, I'm talking about improved way of communication with the farmers in our local farming issue. In the north, the majority of our work is agriculture. Now talk about somebody who said, okay, at the first year before farming starts, everybody that is involved in farming will connect with your cooperative society, will connect with your emirs and leaders to provide you with working materials, i.e. tractors, plugging machines, seedlings and all, directly before the timing for farming takes place. And you see that being done practically. Who benefits? The northern people, and including their younger generation benefit from it. And then at the end of it, what is the result? We are now moving from consumption to production. No more hunger, because the people will produce and then they'll be able to sell their produce. And at the same time, you may want to ask, how did the farmers go into their own farm, especially the issue of corruption? Because majority of the farmers, those who engage into security, social malfeasances, will also see there's a purposefulness and the direction of a leader who takes care of the interests of the people. That is the quality and character that Peter Obi exemplifies. And that is what we really need in this country. We don't need a recycled product that cannot be able to produce new ideas that new Nigerians needed. And that's why most of the time you have a slogan in the obedient movement, we say a new Nigeria is possible.
Right, you mentioned Goodluck Jonathan earlier, the former president, and some would say he has become the new bride. He has become the star boy of opposition game plan. We've heard his name mentioned within the PDP ranks. There are calculations that are factoring the Goodluck element. There are calculations on the ADC side that also has the Goodluck element. We understand that some of his political allies are in conversation with the leadership. Does that worry you? That the attention is moving away from your
Not with a pinch of salt, none. And I explain. And this is a time in which, especially our northern brother, should be careful, because they are dropping the name of the north. He himself, His Excellency, former President Goodluck Jonathan, you should also be mindful that they are dropping his name. And the idea behind it is this. You have a popular candidate who supported you at the time of your needs, and you know that he's popular. It is the best time for you to support that particular individual, because it's time to you to make a repayment. And the reason why you should do this is that those microscopic few who have held this country in total abject poverty are trying to use the former president against the interest and the will of the people. And this is what they're saying, that a Goodluck Jonathan presidency will be easily manipulated, may be easily be used by the North. They quote by the North, so that the North can now have easy access to somebody that they can trust, as against credible person who is trying to change the narrative of your economic well-being.
Yeah, but who's saying that? Who's saying that, Dr. Tanko?
You just said, did you mention any name when you said they're becoming a new brand? No, you didn't. Because the same people who are calculating, who are sending those permutations, are trying to change the narrative. And I'm saying this for my own brothers in the North. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be used. Because when they say, it's the North that is bringing in Jonathan and all of that, and he himself, President Goodluck Jonathan, knows very well that the most popular candidate as we speak today is Peter Obi. And so he should be a very good father that he is. Yeah, but and he has been enjoying the international community favor. And said, look, at this point in time, we've already enjoyed our position. And I remember with nostalgia the statement of Peter Obi. He said, those who have plunged our country into a dwindling economy should have a house where all of their names will be mentioned one after the other. But now we should be able to encourage new generation so that they can be able to change the narrative. I'm quoting him, and this is the time. So we should be careful, and he should be careful so that he cannot be used against the will of the people.
Two questions. Are you saying Peter Obi is new generation? Because last time I checked, he's part of the old guard. And then the next question
is... he grew within the ranks. He has never been the president.
Yeah, but he is a part of the system.
No, he was a governor. That's sure. And then everybody is expected to grow within the rank. I didn't mean that he was not the governor. The question you would have asked me is that he doesn't have the experience.
I'm not sure I'm going to ask you that, but the question is, you say that he supported Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes, he did. I did not even say, he did not even say he was voting me.
Right, okay. Be that as it may, right? The question one would ask is, I suppose you're saying Goodluck is not the best candidate at the moment. Right?
At the moment.
That's what you're saying. But the argument is, one could also say that if Peter Obi trusted Goodluck Jonathan's leadership before the emergence of the APC, why would he change his mind now? If Goodluck was good for Nigeria then, why isn't Goodluck good for Nigeria now?
No, I never said that he's not good. I only said that there's an advancement. When you are past a Rubicon of leadership, you've already enjoyed your own position. It is good that you skip away from the stage so that you can hand over to a younger generation. You only groom people so that they can be better. Don't forget, he was also the member of the economic team of President Goodluck Jonathan. So that way, he has gone through the Rubicon of being trained. And so he has become a man of himself. The only thing that is remaining is to hand over the battle to him so that he can continue from where they have stopped.
Is there any conversation between these two?
They have an excellent relationship. Excellent and beautiful relationship, including the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So there's this symbiotic discussion and all. All we are saying is that Nigerians and indeed the world is looking up to a newer generation of leaders that can take us to the next position.
All right. I'm not sure everybody is sold on the fact that you're repeatedly saying that Peter Obi is, the newer generation.
Yes, because I have my facts and I've already exemplified and I put them on ground.
Right. A lot of people will say he has been around for the past 2 decades in the political arena. So.
Yes, and then of course he has grown up the ranks.
Right. Okay. His one-term offer.
Very fantastic idea.
A lot of people have pushed back on that, saying this is more about political strategy than actually national development, because there are no guarantees when it comes to leadership, when it comes to governance, especially governing a country like Nigeria. He tweeted about it, and that in itself caused quite the national interest. Most recently, he's also talked about a single-term offer, something that former President Goodluck Jonathan had attempted to achieve. What do you have to say in defense of those who say this is all just political calculation on his part, that he's been disingenuous by insisting that he's only going to serve 1 term, and 1 term is going to be enough for him to fix Nigeria?
You see me smiling at you?